Hey guys, what's up? It's AngelVicious. Who else? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we're going to be talking about my stretched ears. As of late, I've gotten so many people asking what size are your plugs. Usually, when they don't know the term, they say gauges, which, might I add, is really quick. Gauge means size, basically. So, if you like someone's shirt and you go up to them and say, hey, I like your small, it's the same thing as I go up and I say, I like your gauges, because a gauge is a size. So a lot of people don't know that. They're not called gauges. Even the people that have gauges, call them gauges. But honestly, they're just stretched ears. That's it. That's the name. You can call them tunnels, you can call them plugs, but the word gauge, unless you're at a 0 gauge, double 0 gauge, whatever the first few gauges you're at before you hit measurements, you can call them gauges. But after that, they are no longer gauges. They are considered just stretched ears. So I refer to them as nice plugs, nice tunnels. These are tunnels. These are silicone tunnels. I got these on Amazon for like $8. No joke. And I know a lot of my friends that have big plugs. I don't think any of my friends have plugs near as big as me, but or many of my followers really, because 2-inch is basically the furthest you can go without having to get super customized plugs. And I still have a hard time. These, that $8 isn't bad. They're going to be $8 regardless. And that was really cool. Silicone is a lot cheaper than, regular plugs. Like, I can get a pair of plugs off of Body Jewelry Source, which I'm going to put their link here so you can just go check it out. I'm not sponsored, and I'm not doing this to promote their business. But Body Jewelry Source is where I used to get most of my plugs. I would say that they are pretty good, but they are only like $14 a pair, which kind of means you get what you pay for. If you go on to Body Art Forms, then you might have a better luck of finding like some weights or maybe some really pretty wooden plugs, things like that, but you're not going to be able to just find them anywhere. And if you do find them, they're probably going to be pretty expensive, because my ears, just for me, I mean, a lot of people that have sizes closer to me, or, I just started in measurements, they're like, where do you get your plugs? Because they only go to like 00. Yeah, I went through that shit. When I started stretching my ears, I was like 14 years old. And, I don't know. I was just at the hospital with my papa, who is now passed away, so may he rest in peace. But I was there, and of course, being young, I was bored. So I asked someone to take me to Walmart so I could get some gauges, as I called them back then. I really wanted. So I get over to Walmart and they have 16 gauge. So I'm like, oh my god, this is going to be so cool. I'm going to stay here forever though. I'm going to stretch it all at the same time. Oh my god. Angel, what is your problem? Okay. I didn't know any better back then. I didn't. I was a teenager. I was barely a teenager, and I decided to go ahead and buy 2-packs, since they came, I think they came like a 3-pack, a tiny one, a bigger one, and a big one. So I went ahead and I was like, okay, let's get 2-packs of those. When I get back to the hospital, I'll have a mirror so I can put them in. Whew. I mean, obviously, I had no idea what I was doing. So I had gotten 2-packs, big one, a medium-sized one, and a little one, like the size in circumference, not in size as in gauge. Anyway, so I get back to the hospital, and I think this was the time when my pop-up punctured his lung at work, and I mean, like, saying oh, I was so bored back then. It's so rude now to me because obviously he's passed away. And obviously, you know, when someone's at the hospital, you're supposed to think more about them than yourself. But keep in mind, I was just an early teenager and I just wanted to do some things and some fun. So I took those 2 little packs into the bathroom. I didn't even start with the biggest hole in my ear, which is the one that's stretched all the way. I decided I was going to start with the top one. I used to have 3 holes in each ear. And so I went ahead and I tried putting that one in. It wasn't going in very easily. Why? Well, I had no oil, no like emu oil, no, I can't pronounce it, Baja, you know what I'm talking about. Any oil or tea tree oil or anything like that. I didn't have anything to literally lubricate my ear with when I was going to put the next gauge in. So I kind of just shoved them in my ear like a normal person would, you know? And I was just like, I just really want these put in. You know, it was starting to sting a little bit, so I just like hooked it really quick, like a fucking fish on a hook. And so I look in the bathroom mirror and I'm putting them in. 3rd hole hurt the most, 2nd hole hurt a little bit, and the 1st one really wasn't that bad. Because, you know, you just have more, you don't have as much cartilage here or here as you do here. And that's kind of the concept and the thing I didn't get at the moment because I literally just wanted my ear stretched. So I just did and said, okay. So I had those for a while. And then I went in another tattoo shop and I wanted them bigger. And it took a while for me to get to a 10 on my lowest ear, but at one point I ended up having them 14, 12, and 10 going down on my ear. It wasn't enough for me. I realized that I wasn't going to be able to keep stretching my ear where the cartilage is because it would just make my ears really thin because it would be pushing away from the cartilage and it would be harming the cartilage because, I don't know, it's just like you don't place a square into a circle. You know what I mean? I did away with the second 2 and I went ahead and I went for the 8, the 6, the 4, the 2, the 0, the 00. I said it 2, I'm gonna stop. Yeah, bitch. No, I didn't stop. No, I didn't. So I kept going after I had made a whole collection of 2-gauge plugs, which I ended up selling. I sold them in bulk because, well, I had like at least 50 to 60 pairs of plugs, which is so stupid, but I got a lot of them on clearance and at this place, Easter Island, near my home, and he had plugs that were so cheap, like $10 a pair maybe. Sometimes they're like $4 a pair for, you know, actual measurements. That was amazing. But once I got to 1 inch was my goal. Actually, I think 7/8 was my goal, but then I like laughed at that because why would you go to 7/8 when you could just go ahead and get to 1 inch? So 1 inch was my goal. I wasn't gonna go any bigger. So, of course, I did. I changed my mind. I kind of skipped around on the sizes because it was up to the point where I was at like 6 years of stretching my ears. Quite a bit of time. So about 6.5 years of stretching my ears. They were at like 1.5, maybe 1 3/4, maybe 1 5/8, somewhere right in there, you know. And I decided, you know what? Go for the biggest, get 2 inch, call it a day. So what did I do? I did that. I went ahead and I was like buying a silicone pair, a metal pair for each of them up to my 2-gauge, aka 51 millimeters. When I got to this size, it had taken me 7 years to stretch, which I would say is a very good speed to stretch. If you want to start stretching your ears and you want them big, start now. Your journey of stretching is going to be fun, but it is going to be quite long, and it is going to get irritating. You're going to want to shove freaking things in your ears, but just don't do it because it's not worth a blowout, and I've had plenty of blowouts, and it just, oh God, it looks nasty, and it hurts, ears. Just take my advice on that. If you never, ever, ever listen to me about anything on my channel, please take your time when you stretch your ears, because it is a big thing. It really is. And people don't really take it seriously. They think, oh, okay, especially people without stretched ears. Okay, she probably just got there in one go. Hell no. Like, I was asked the other day, how does that work? Like, how do you get there? And I explained, it's just like, the woman had ear piercings. So I was like, you start your ear piercing, and then you just kind of work your way. And she's like, wow, okay, I thought you got them pierced like that. Of course I wish, but no, I didn't. And it took me forever to get to the size. So, anyways, this is an update, so let's talk a little bit about the fact that my ears are 2-inch and what I've got, and I'll even do like a plug try-on one day. I kind of got to find all my plugs because some of them I've misplaced, some of them are mismatched and have the other one like on my table or something. God, that's going to be a day. My house is a mess. It is a disaster. I've got to clean my house before I can find anything. So let's go off of the most asked questions first. Number one question I get is, what size are your ears? Even people who don't know sizes of stretching ears ask that. My ears are 51 millimeters if you want to go in millimeters, or they're 2-inch if you'd like to go in that. As I've said before, getting my ears stretched anymore, and they're very healthy, I love them, would be quite a disaster because I wouldn't be able to find many plugs, much jewelry in my size. And I like kind of having a variety. Even though it seems like I wear my black silicone plugs all the time, I really alternate those between these and my surgical steel plugs that are, I'm sorry, not plugs, tunnels, that I got from Body Jewelry Source. People also ask, and I'd say this is maybe the second most asked question is, did it hurt, along the way as you were going? How quick did you go? How long did it take? It's pretty much usually all in one question. So, did it hurt? No, not really. It's not supposed to hurt and ache when you stretch your ears. That is a sign that your ears are not ready to go bigger, and you might want to work back down until your ears are healed and you can stretch without going through scar tissue or anything like that. It's my biggest recommendation. How long it took me to get here, obviously I'd said it was 7 years. Like, they're not supposed to hurt, so if they hurt, please take that into mind, that it might not be the best thing for your ears at the moment. I say wait 3 months in between each time, unless you're in the actual gauge part of stretching. Then you don't really get many blowouts through that. I'd say when you feel they're healed, but none less than a month, because I never did that, and my ears turned out great. So keep it like that. Just let them hang out. Find some cute jewelry each time. Maybe find one pair that you'd like to stretch up to or something. Doesn't really matter. And people ask, are you going to go bigger? Obviously the question answered is no. I've already stated reasons as to why. Another most asked question is, what do they look like when they're taken out? And what if you can't have them at a job you work at? Well, I'm not going to work at any jobs I can't have my piercings. Honestly, modeling pays enough, and I do YouTube and my OnlyFans site, and that is my income. It is. I will be drawing a winner for May very soon, because we're in the middle of May. Gotta start doing some more on OnlyFans as well. All those links are in the description. I think that's literally about it. Of course I'll take them out and I'll show them to you, because, why the hell not? But as you can see, my skin is not very thin. It's actually like elastic, really. I don't know if this is gonna gross some people out, but they really are. Some people say it looks like a stretched out butthole, but I really hope no one's butthole looks like that, because it's fucking huge. But yeah, how do I hide them? I've been asked a million times. I usually just go like this and see how it's kind of over my ear. Whoops. Sorry, my hair is in the way. See how it's kind of over my ear? Since my plugs, my ears are so big, I am able to hide them. So if I needed to, I could, but I do not like hiding them. I'd rather show them off and be proud of them. And as an alternative model and a YouTuber, I am allowed to have these things. Eddie's always saying, like, if one day I forgot my plugs, then he had to edit like crazy one day. And if I ever did it again, then we would just not shoot that day. So ever since, I've been really like self-conscious of being like, okay, you need your plugs and you need your plugs and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, the questions, sorry. The questions, did it hurt? No, and it shouldn't have anywhere through your stretching journey. The length of time it took me with a few stops and stuff, because I like the size I was at, was about 7 years. And where I get my joy from is bodyjewelrysource.com and bodyartforms.com. I also do shop around. The mall does not have my size, so if you want to stop at a size that you can buy anywhere, you know, but still have a bigger stretched ear, then go to Spencer's and stop at an inch. And Spencer's and Hot Topic usually has plugs in an inch, but no bigger. And that's about it. I love you guys so much, and I hope you're having a great night, great day, whatever it is, wherever you're at in this big-ass world, and I'll see you next time. If I left out any of your questions, please respond. There's one thing I would like to say is, this just kind of came to mind. When you're stretching your ears, I can't say anything about silicone, because I stretched with silicone, and my ears are okay. But I mean, I'm not trying to promote that or encourage that. Do not stretch with wood. It is going to be your worst nightmare. It absorbs all infection. Just don't if you're going to do that. And if you want, you know, something other than surgical steel, I mean, I guess it's up to you. Because obviously I can't be a hypocrite over here and say don't stretch with silicone, because it worked great for me and it just might not work great for you. Usually you need to stretch with surgical steel, and when you do, just make sure that you find something that is at least one flare and not too flared, because if you have too flared plugs, you're not going to be able to stretch your ear properly, and that could lead to other problems. And trying to shove that jewelry in is just not a good idea. Even when I started stretching, I could already tell I had done something wrong. Obviously, I did not take enough time. My ears were not ready to stretch because they've been at size for so long, and oh my goodness, the beginning of my journey was really a mess. It really was. But here I am. We're all good now. So anyways, I love you so much. Like I said, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Turn on the bell for notifications so you know every single time I upload. And please, please, please go check out my website. That is onlyfans.com/AngelVicious. It is basically my Patreon that is full of photos, nudes, modeling, things like that. When I say nudes, I mean artistically, nothing pornographic. So even some girls that have recently joined that even are straight, you know, have joined and they don't mind it. And so it's basically supporting me whether you want to see that stuff or not. If you don't want to see that stuff, comment below and let me see what you guys would like on my OnlyFans. As I said in the last video, please make sure you leave your address if you newly sign up, because I will send you a card and an autographed picture. So that is my thing for my new subscribers. Yeah. So anyways, I guess it's time to go, or else I'll talk about stretched ears for the next hour, and it's already been 23 minutes and 44 seconds, and I'm probably going to have to edit the hell out of this. I'm just kidding. Anyways, okay. Love you guys so much. Bye!